Hello and welcome to ASBTDC TV, a product of a partnership between the University of Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center and the Northwest Arkansas Council Small Business Emergency Assistance Program. In this series, we're talking with small businesses, experts, and ASBTDC consultants about the relevant and right now topics and solutions for business. I'm Amy Robinson.
And I'm Chris Case, and today we are here with Lori from ASBTDC, and that is located here in Northwest Arkansas, or our chapter, or what we're talking about today with Amy. But Lori, so Amy and I met you, like I've said before, we met you in the end of March, beginning of April, and both of us were just enamored with what you guys do. So can you tell us first a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, we help our clients in three kind of specific ways. One, we put on trainings and workshops, and I consider ASBTDC TV to kind of be part of that. So that's one way, is kind of these little TV spots where people get a little bit of a flavor and some information. And then we do webinars and seminars where we're meeting people in person, but right now we're doing webinars. But we help people through those in a variety of topics. We've got some marketing series coming up this fall. We have a standard starting a business in Arkansas seminar where we help people understand kind of the basics of what you need to start a business. We put QuickBooks seminars on. We did a lot of COVID-19 financing seminars this spring when people were figuring out how to finance their businesses to get through the COVID-19 crisis. So those are just some of the ways we help people in terms of teaching and instruction. And we also help people with the market research that we have available to them. I worked in large companies before moving over to this role, and what large companies are paying for, we're able to offer individuals for free as part of our SBA funding. And this really helps people understand their consumers, their competition, market demographics, consumer segments, as well as industry information that we're able to get for customers when they're looking at their business opportunities. And then probably the most valuable offering we have is the one-on-one consulting. We help people pull together everything they need to get bank financing, help people write business plans, put together financial projections, help people with marketing plans, help people learn how to use accounting tools, just bounce ideas. I've had long-term clients, people that I helped start their businesses that I've been helping with marketing since they opened 4 years ago. So I tell people, with as far as the one-on-one consulting goes, call us, tell us what your problem is, and we'll see if we can figure out how to help you. It's really broad.
Really, yeah, it's life of a business services, right? It's
Yeah.
the entire life cycle of a business from beginning to end. Well, one of the things I know that a lot of people come to you for, and that I think you're even known for in a lot of ways, is business planning. Like you said, that is what you need to take to a bank or any number of other things. And there are a lot of different models out there, and anybody can fill it out, but there's strategy behind that. And you have a 5-point business plan that you can share with us a little bit today. And I think you have a case study to use just to kind of guide us in this format before people reach out to you to dive in deeper. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I worked in the vitamin business before I moved into this role for several years, so I like to use that as an example. I worked on a national drugstore chain, and we had a case where we saw that our health and beauty customers were buying vitamins at specialty retailers after doing some market research. And we did a little bit further digging and found that these individuals found certain product attributes appealing. They were looking at vitamins that were 100% natural, organic, gluten-free, preservative-free, just like what you're seeing in the food category. Those same product attributes were appealing to these particular customers. And we saw that these customers were buying their health and beauty products, so shampoo, mascara, products like that in our national drugstore, but they were buying their vitamins in these specialty retailers, so GNC, Vitamin Shop, and we thought, wait a second, we've already got these people in our store, and we've got the shelf space. Why not launch a line of premium vitamins for these customers? They're already buying vitamins, and get them to buy this stuff while they're already in our store. This meets a need, saves them a trip, and offers them a brand that they can get while they're already in our store. This is a win-win for the customer and for us. And so we did exactly that.
That's awesome. That's cool. So in the 5-point business plan, that would start with exactly what you're talking about, right? That product and service and what that would look like.
Yeah, so in a business plan, we would explain what is 100% natural, what is gluten-free, what is organic. You would go into the detail about those types of products. And then I would suggest having an appendix where you listed out your actual items. So you have a vitamin C that's preservative free. You have a vitamin D that's 100% natural. And you list out your actual product line instead of having that in the products and services section. You explain the types of products you're going to offer. So if you're a restaurant, you would have your menu items in an appendix, but you would have the types of products you have in the products and services section, and explain that you're a fine dining establishment in the products and services section.
Those differentiating factors.
You're also going to address pricing strategy and structure in the products section. So pricing strategy refers to whether or not you're a premium brand. So for us, we were competing with these premium specialty stores. So we launched a premium line of items. You have to pay more for an organic product, right? So we were priced at a premium. We were also priced by the bottle. So that's pricing structure. So you know when you go to Whole Foods and you buy the almond butter that you have to pull the lever to get it, that's bulk pricing. So that's what you're explaining when you address your pricing.
Awesome.
Okay. So the second step that you move into is that then market?
Yeah, so this is where you're going to explain first your target market, which is really important. We can really help our clients here. So in this case, we had market research to help us define our target market. And it was something along the lines of women aged, 25 to 35 or 25 to 45, high incomes, heavy vitamin customers, active and fit, living a healthy lifestyle. I mean, you see, I've described this individual based on their activities, their involvement in the category, something about income, something about demographics, but more around their activities and their involvement in the category. It's kind of a rich description of this individual. We try to do that with our clients. We have access to market research that allows us to segment consumers and really identify them based on their activities and behaviors, not just their demographics. And that's what we want our clients to do, is really think about customers beyond just their age and their gender and their income, but around their activities and their behaviors and their attitudes towards the products that you're providing to them.
And luckily for all of our listeners and viewers, we have an entire ASBTDC TV segment on that, because it's the best. I love how you put on the entire persona of your market and what you're looking at. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really, really critical that you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so within the marketing and looking at that, what it goes into strategy and plan within that marketing segment. Is that right? How do you do that?
So our whole brand strategy was around creating a specialty vitamin that enabled our customers to get what they wanted, a premium line of vitamins, enabled to help them buy a vitamin that improved their health without making a special trip to a specialty store. They could get what they wanted while they were at CVS or a retail chain, buying their mascara or their shampoo at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a marketing strategy around raising awareness. That was a brand new brand out in the marketplace. So for a brand new store or a brand new restaurant, you're in an awareness building stage. That's what you're doing. So that was our whole marketing strategy. And then we had an ad campaign around what you put into your body matters, because we wanted to appeal to this customer who felt like they were getting a healthier product by buying something that was organic or a 100% natural product. There was a perception of added health benefits.
Oh, that's great.
And then
Okay, so then
it's critical to put together an actual marketing plan in a business plan, especially if you're putting together something to secure financing. But to put together an actual marketing plan, not just a list of marketing tactics, but a well thought out plan. Okay, I know that we're launching in March, so we are going to have these tactics launching in March, April, and May. Then we're going to slow down during the summer months. We're going to ramp back up for holiday. And this is what we're going to implement. We know our customers are on Facebook. We know they're on Instagram. So we're going to have social media posts on those two channels. We also know they're listening to radio. So we're going to have radio spots. They're not reading the newspaper. We're not going to have anything on newspaper. We know that they are on the internet. So we're going to have Google advertising or whatever it may be. We know they're really engaged with philanthropy. We're a local small business. So we've chosen these 3 philanthropies. We're going to host, say you're a restaurant or your bar. We're going to host fundraising events at these 3 times a year to promote our involvement with these 3 philanthropies because they're relevant for our customer base. But you need to have that planned out and budgeted for.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, and then you move in kind of to like, what are the strengths and the opportunities of the industry? Am I right on that?
Yes,
Okay.
it's important to understand the industry and really understand what works because you pull different levers depending on the industry. We knew in the vitamin business, for example, coupons are an effective tool. Co-promotions are an effective tool. We sent out e-coupons to people that were buying health and beauty products as a way to get them to buy vitamins and that were launched as part of that brand launch. So that was something that we really did. We also saw that or knew that endorsements by professionals are an effective tool. If Dr. Oz says buy this product, you guys, I don't know how familiar you guys are with like the health and wellness industry or health and wellness products, if you're personally involved. But if he says something, people that are watching him and take his word for it will go out and buy it. He just has a really great influence. People often listen to their doctors. If they're concerned about their health, if their doctor says go out and buy this, they listen, and so that really drives demand in that category. It's important to know that, regardless of whatever your industry is in. But for that particular category, big sales drivers at the store are coupons and e-coupons, email blasts, and we had a lot of in-store advertising was really an effective tool, and what we did to support that brand when we launched.
That's amazing. And I think that that's really, and then you have the engine that is behind all of this. And if you're, if it's a bank or anyone else, whoever you're presenting this to, or even your own team, you want to know how it works, who's going to do it and how are they going to do it. So you kind of have an operations plan as part of it. Is that right?
Yes. It's really important to have the operational plan knocked out. And this is, I feel like people look at me like, I really have to do this, but I call it people and processes.
That's good.
When I set my clients down, I'm like, this is people and processes. So in the operational section of a business plan, you're going to lay out the key characters in a business. Who are the key operators? Your CEO, your chief executive officer, your chief financial officer, your chief marketing officer, or maybe two co-owners, and they don't have to have those fancy titles. Just who are the key players? Who's going to do what? Their roles, their responsibilities, their backgrounds, and their day-to-day responsibilities. And then the day-to-day activities for a full cycle of business in the business. So for me, a full cycle may be a client from the first meeting I have with them or the first email I send to set up an appointment till their business opens. That might be a full cycle of operations for me. And I would explain in detail those operations. I cannot tell you how many people have come back to me after that tedious exercise and said, thank you for making me do that. I thought about 900 things I would not have otherwise thought about that I should have done in marketing, that I need to buy, that I need to do differently through going through that exercise. So it's a tedious process, but it really does force the client to think through a lot of different things, or they think, ooh, I definitely don't want to do that. Or I want to do this differently, or I need to hire this done, or I need to buy this, or I need to market this differently, or maybe I don't want to do that. And so I definitely need to take that off the table of something that I offer.
That's a really great point, because even though you're developing these kind of independently, they're all interdependent and they depend on each other and fold into each other. Yeah, that's amazing.
And I think that's something to understand about a business plan is, and the financial plan is, which is part of a business plan, is this is kind of fluid and intertwined.
Yeah.
You're working on one piece of it, but it affects another piece of it.
Yeah. So tell us about the budget and the financial plan and how
the last step that we always like to talk about.
So the budget obviously interacts with a marketing plan, because a marketing plan and budget is part of the financial plan. So you see how these things are all intertwined.
Yeah.
And the target market is going to be a driver of the marketing plan, because you're not going to do Facebook if it's not appealing to your target market. So all of this kind of fits together, and is why, something that we really help our clients figure out. Because it is so intertwined. But we have a financial workbook. This is the tool that our center director put together that is really, we work with our clients on, that's really easy to use, because for a lot of our clients, they have experience doing one thing that is not financial management. Like, I have very few clients that come to me that say, I know everything about putting together a budget. I need no help. I mean, 1% of my clients come to me and say, I need very little assistance with this.
Yep, yep.
So we have created a very simple tool that I send this workbook to clients and they give me these big eyes. And I say, no, you just have 3 worksheets that you're going to fill out.
Yeah.
And it includes startup expenses. And I say, don't pay too much attention at first to the workbook. Just, you're going to set it aside, you're going to put it over here, and you're going to get out your big chief tablet or your Excel worksheet or your notebook paper, however you like to capture information, and you're going to list out all the things that you need to get the business started, just from the land you have to buy or the building you need to buy to the toilet paper in the bathroom or the pens to write on or write with, whatever you need, and do the research, make the phone calls to figure out how much each one of those things cost. Then you're going to find their spot in the template and put them into the template. So step 1, step 2, step 3, really simple. It's a lot of homework to do, but just keep it simple. Then you're going to do the same thing with a monthly expense budget. Just step 1, step 2, step 3, pull out your big chief tablet, notebook, or Excel worksheet, Word document, however you like to capture the information, make the list, make the phone calls, do the online research to get the cost, then move it over to the Excel worksheet that we've given you. Then it's projected revenue, which gets a little bit more complicated, but we can assist with that. And we just make sales projections. We can do that by looking at some market research to look at consumer demand. Oftentimes we can come up with some numbers, looking at consumer expenditures that we've seen or projected from our market research. I like to look at number of consumers or expenditures on a particular category. We can come up with something to get people comfortable with the number.
Yeah.
I had a colleague once that called it Lori's wizard math.
Well, and it's definitely not something that all happens in one day. I mean, you know,
No.
this is like, it's that 3 a.m., write it down next to your bed because you thought of it kind of process.
On your napkin that you're eating with, yeah.
As you're going through and thinking through that, a lot of these different pieces will start all together. I think that, Lori, that's one of the other things that always interests me about business plan is the very first thing that you see on a business plan is an executive summary, but it's usually the very last thing that you actually do.
Yes. So the executive summary is just that. It is the summary of the products and services section, the market section, the industry section, the operations section, and the budget section. And then you're going to have some basic information about the owners, the location, the legal entity information. Is it an LLC? Is it a corporation? The address. Some information, like I said, about the owners, and then the financing proposal if you're going to a bank. How much do you need to borrow? Some basic high-level financial information. And it's just that. It's a summary. And it's a little bit of a sales pitch if you're asking for financing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, you know, again, we marvel on a daily basis about everything that that is done through the ASBTDC. And I think that continue to, for the best part of all of it, to be that it's done in partnership with people like you, that that no, it isn't all done overnight, and all of those things, but you have somebody with your expertise and all of the resources, from the market research to all of the different industry analysis and everything else. Those sales projections that you mentioned, ooh, those can be really overwhelming if you feel like you're doing it by yourself. So so it's really awesome. And you can be found at sbdc@uark.edu, and of course sbtdc.uark.edu is the website where anyone can find all of the information about the ASBTDC. See, I don't have it down yet, and I've been doing it for months. So thank you again, Lori, for joining us. And if you are joining us via video, or you're just listening in and have a suggested topic, a question that you need answered, someone you'd like to hear from, or a story you'd like to share, please contact us at bizhelp, BUSHELP@uark.edu, and put TB in the subject line. And if you're interested in benefiting from our free one-on-one consulting service, yes, I said free, please sign up at sbtdc.uark.edu. Thanks again, Lori. We appreciate you so much.
We sure do.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.